Doing that. Welcome to the Roll Call Podcast. It is Joe McGuire along with Lucas Baldock and JJ Vargas. Guys, last night the Yankees did exactly what we said they needed to do, and they did it almost exactly the way we told them to do it.
They must listen to the show. They must.
If they don't, they really ought to start, because my goodness, it really does pay dividends for these guys. Obviously, the Yankees got off to a really great start, and before we went on the air, JJ was all over me about some comments I made about a fella by the name of Aaron Judge. And let me just be clear, because you're not the only person who's now suggested I don't have love for Aaron Judge. What I said was Aaron Judge needed to do exactly what he did last night. The fourth pitch of this baseball game, Aaron Judge made a statement, and that statement was, we're not going to lose, and we don't give a crap who's on the mound, and that was exactly the approach that they took, JJ.
Yeah, literally. Aaron Judge said, I don't care if it's the pitcher Bieber, Justin Bieber, Angry Beavers, I don't care. Yankees in two, because it's like you said, he needed to really make a statement and say, hey, this is still my team. The Yankees run by how Aaron Judge goes, and he came out and made a statement with that 2-run shot. I think he was fantastic, and I think he might have got player of the game if Gleyber Torres didn't shine the way that he shined, man.
Yeah, 4 pitches into the game, you see Aaron Judge just crushed that. But, I was just getting settled in, let's get this game on. And then,
Lucas, I don't think I even had a sip of my beer yet, and this guy snaps a home run.
Seriously. Then DJ leads it off with an opposite field single, and then Matt Vasgersian, he says, oh, that's very Jeter-esque, the opposite field base hit. And then I was like, well, maybe that's a good sign then, huh?
Yeah.
And then Judge comes up and he just smacks one. And JJ, you said that you thought you saw Aaron Judge mouth something on the mound to the camera.
Yeah,
before we went on air.
After he hit the home run and did the little backflip, I'm pretty sure he said, "Suck it, Joe." But I could be wrong. I don't know.
It's likely that he said that. You never know.
You're a popular guy, so your name gets around.
Look, it had to happen, and he had to be. I wouldn't even say I was calling Aaron Judge out, because I don't even consider it that. I'm simply, I think, stating what's factual information here, right? Gerrit Cole pitches last night, and my goodness gracious, he was everything that you would have ever wanted him to be. And I know we talked about sort of how this game would lay out. JJ, you went first and said 10 strikeouts. Lucas said 11. I went ahead and said 12. Who knew we were going to be doing like? And
then he said, "Hold my beer. Here's 13."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had also suggested, I think we all said he would go 7. He went 7. I said a run on 5 hits, mentioned even a home run, but it wouldn't be a problem, Lucas. What'd I say? Because they'll be up 5-0.
You said it would be 5-1 when they hit the home run, and then Naylor struck one out, and I was like, dude, come on. What are the odds that Joe called that?
Here's the other shocking thing about this game, or the other thing that we said that I think really was a difference maker. Look, we talked about the Yankees playing a clean game, and they did.
Yep.
They did not. Everything the Yankees did went really well. And if you look all around, at every position, top to bottom, everybody brought something to the table last night. And Brett Gardner had an outstanding game. Also had a home run, which was very exciting. I'm sure everybody absolutely loved that. Gleyber Torres became the 4th Yankee ever to record 4 hits, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored in a postseason game, joining Hideki Matsui, Gary Sheffield, and Joe Dugan from back in 1923. That was the first year Babe Ruth won a World Series with the Yankees. So just everything we've seen so far, you've got to be feeling great, not to mention because of how well Cole pitched and how poorly Bieber pitched, the Yankees didn't even have to get anybody up to warm up in the bullpen outside of Luis Sessa, who finished this masterpiece off. So the Yankees come into tonight with their best postseason pitcher of the last 7 years, with a well-rested bullpen, the probable Cy Young Award winner out of the way now. I don't want to jinx this, but it feels like the Yankees are in prime position here to, and again, I know Carlos Carrasco's no slouch. Then again, neither is Masahiro Tanaka. Same thing I said in game one, JJ. It's going to be a good game. Can't make any mistakes. Can't leave runners on base. If the Yankees can get that done, and again, I think they're in much better position than the Indians are. The Indians immediately tonight have to go to desperation. It's save the season. That means all hands on deck, possibly. That's why you don't want to lose game one in these kinds of series, especially the 3-gamer. This is the worst. This is the worst playoff format ever. A 3-gamer. It's worse than the 1-gamer.
I'll agree with that. But going back to the game and what I think needs to happen, I think if you read my article that I wrote yesterday, and it came out before the game started, I said that our big hitters like Giancarlo and Aaron Judge, which it ended up being Aaron Judge, have to jump on Shane Bieber and hit him well off the bat. Because if we got a lead on Shane Bieber early, I think I basically, I don't want to say I predicted it, but I thought that would allow Gerrit Cole to settle in and kind of just do his thing, and it's exactly what he did. He kind of just settled in and sailed the rest of the game.
Yeah, the Yankees really had two points to beat the Indians in this series. One, handle Bieber, and two, just handle your business, because I think from up and down, the Yankees are just a better team than the Indians. That's not to discourage them. I think we're a good team, but overall, we're just a better team. And Bieber was the biggest problem that this team was going to present our Yankees. And now that he's out of the way and Cole got his great start, and this team looks like they're priming to go to the next round already, it's easy, man. We're going to handle our business today. We got the vet, Tanaka, going tonight. We got this.
Yeah, what a great position for the Yankees to be in. Mark Teixeira, former New York Yankees first baseman, now one of those clowny mouthpieces on ESPN. Even after he suggested that the Yankees might be in some trouble, and even after last night's resounding victory, this is my favorite part about professional broadcasters. Why not say that you were wrong, Mark Teixeira? Why not say that the Yankees got it together in a big moment? Instead, he basically hedged his bets, still not sure how good the Yankees are going to be, which is an interesting thing for Mark Teixeira to do. Here's the thing.
Can I just say, Teixeira is not welcome to the cookout anymore. He is no longer. He cannot come get a hot dog or a hamburger at the Yankee cookout. Not for that one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I really like. I mean, I still like Mark Teixeira. I'm not gonna lie, but even after we kind of proved him wrong, to not even come out and say, "Wow, maybe this team is turning it on at the right time. They're getting hot. Their bats are hot. Their pitching staff looks good." He kind of just said that they still have a chance to blow it. Well, that's really upsetting. I mean,
it's unfortunate. If anybody watched the debates last night, I mean, we live in a world where no one, God forbid, anybody should be like, you know what, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong. I thought Justin Bieber. I thought Shane Bieber was the best pitcher in baseball, and he was going to roll the Yankees last night. Instead, they lit him up like a Christmas tree. Say you're wrong. It's okay, people. It's all right to say you were wrong. It's all right to say I was really worried about the way the Yankees have been playing. They've been playing like garbage lately, and I don't feel confident. But after last night, if you're still saying that, now you're just being a moron.
You're allowed to change your opinion when you gain new knowledge. Mark Teixeira should have took what happened yesterday and saw there's two levels of teams here, two different tiers. This Yankee team is just at a higher level like I said earlier, to these Indians, and they had their ace out there, and he really displayed and showed out, and just proved that point.
Yeah. One thing I really liked to see from this is kind of changing the subject a little bit. I wanted to bring it up earlier when we were talking about how we just pounded Shane Bieber. He had never given up more than 3 runs this season in a game.
Yeah,
He had 12 starts, and never once did he give up more than 3 runs, and we pounded him for 7. And I think that just speaks volume to the type of hitters that are on this Yankee team, because this guy's probable and favorite for the American League Cy Young Award.
yeah.
I mean, and he won the pitching triple crown, which I can't remember off the top of my head how many people have done it, or if anyone's done it at all. But if they have, it's a short list. So that just speaks volumes about this Yankees team, and they're special, and people need to start realizing that.
To your point of how this Yankee team beat up on Shane Bieber, yesterday I made a point that I was very unsure of which Yankee team we were going to get in the game 1. Were we going to get the 11-3 victory, or were we going to get beat 2-12 or something? And we actually ended up being on the good side of that coin. So I'm hoping that that's what we get again. And I think that we will, because I feel like this team right now, they're really swinging the bats with confidence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this team right now, I don't think could be in any better of a position. And I think if you're the Yankees, you go into tonight, you really, I think if you're the Yankees, you don't even have to play this game like you want to win it. In other words, if say Tanaka gives up a couple runs, you don't have to immediately go to your top bullpen guys. You could throw a Jonathan Loaizaga in there, Jordan Montgomery, and you're going to get probably some good innings. And we know how good this team is. So yeah, I'm just saying this team doesn't have to go to Chad Green or to better guys early on to this game if they don't want to, and they can go all in a game 3. I don't think it's going to come to that.
I disagree, Joe. I disagree. If Tanaka struggles, you got to put the good guys out there, because that's the luxury of being up 1-0 in a wild card round. You don't want that game 3 pressure. If you could finish it up in 2 games, put Green out there, put Britton, put Ottavino. You got to put those guys out there, because you don't want that pressure of that game 3 on your shoulders, especially when you're the prohibitive favorite to win it all. When you're up, you want to kind of front run your way to the next round. You don't want to be that like I said, upper caliber team that's down to the team that they should beat.
I'll sort of meet you guys in the middle here. I see Joe's point where if there was to be a game 3, say we put in our big guns and we still end up losing the game, then it feels like we kind of just wasted those assets, and they won't be full strength for the next day in the next game. But I also see JJ's point where you don't want that pressure of a game 3. I mean, elimination games are some of the hardest games to play in sports, and I know none of us know that, and that's only for the pros to know. But the way they talk about it, those elimination games are tough, and you want all your pieces out there and trying to win that game 2 and get the sweep. But
Lucas, if you told me that we have Gerrit Cole available for game 3, I like the plan. But are we going to depend on Hap on a game 3? I mean, yeah, he's been good as of late, but that's the dilemma you're faced with. Handle your business, seeing that you're 1-0, get to the next round without even thinking of game 3. Just try to handle your business in game 2.
By the way, 13 pitching Triple Crown winners in the history of baseball. So, and it looks like at least three or 4 of them were Sandy Koufax. So when it happens, it's usually Koufax.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
So look, in other words, I mean, I think if the Yankees were to fall behind 5 or 6-0, then is kind of more my point. If they were to get into big trouble, again, you could sort of just sit on the top. I mean, even if you took a 12-1 beating tonight, you'd still be fine, because you'd still have everybody fresh and ready to go. So again, I just think the Yankees, like, no matter what happens, are in a great spot here. I think Tanaka's going to go out there and pitch into the 7th inning again, like Cole did. I think you're going to get an amazing start out of Tanaka. It won't be quite as dominant, but I think you're going to see don't forget this guy wants to come back next season. Or at the very least, he wants somebody to pay him a ton of money to come play on their team.
Yeah, good point.
By the way, Lucas, you said this earlier, and you got me. I guess I had heard it was Judge's 9th home run of his postseason career, which is mind blowing to me. That's a lot of home runs for the postseason for anybody.
Yeah.
But 19 RBI and 22 runs in 28 games.
Yeah.
That's a pretty productive guy in the postseason. I will say that about Aaron Judge.
And that's the guy that you can't move off of, Joe. I know we had the conversation yesterday about what you do with Aaron Judge if he stinks it up, but look at what he's doing when he's in the playoffs.
Yeah, but why no World Series championship yet? I guess would be my question.
And that's the standard that Yankees fans are held to. But let's just say he was doing this for another team, you will still think he was a great player. It's just because he's not winning championships with a championship caliber team is why we look at him that way. But if he was in another team that's just constantly putting them in playoff contention and is putting up the numbers without the team's success, we'll probably just look at him like, damn, they're wasting Judge's talent. They need to put a good team around him. We're the ones that have to really boost the surrounding squad around Aaron Judge and make this a championship caliber team. And that's why we got Gerrit Cole. After the game yesterday, they asked Judge about Gerrit Cole, and he said that's why we went to go get him, because he knew that was a piece that this Yankee team needed to elevate to win a championship.
Yeah, I think when you have someone who creates as much offense as Aaron Judge, especially in the postseason, you value that guy at the highest level. And like we were talking about yesterday, like there's so many guys on this Yankee team that have to get paid. But if Judge continues to produce in the postseason, I think he 100% deserves to be back with the Yankees on a very, very, very lucrative deal.
Yeah.
But he's so valuable. He creates so much runs, and 9 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 22 runs scored. That means he's getting on base too, walks and stuff like that, and base hits. He's not just hitting home runs and striking out. I think that's value, and that's just more value than most teams have in a right fielder.
Yeah, before we move on, I just want to say that Aaron Judge surely knows that he is number one on the pending checks to be made out to by the Yankees. I think that he's number one in that depth chart. And I think that the only person that could ruin that is himself. So I'm pretty sure he holds himself to a higher standard, knowing that I'm the only person that could get in my way if I don't perform well. I'm paying Aaron Judge before I pay Glaber, Gary, Andujar, Clint. It doesn't even matter. Aaron Judge is the clear number one, and everybody else follows.
How about this? Those 9 home runs tie for the most through 28 career postseason games in Yankee history. The names of the guys that also have done 9 are Mickey Mantle and Lou Gehrig.
I heard those guys are pretty good.
Pretty good company.
Always got to love being in that kind of company. By the way, I mentioned earlier, Masahiro Tanaka, tonight's starter, is 5-3 in the postseason, 9 earned runs in 46 innings, 11 walks, 37 strikeouts, a 0.783 WHIP, and a 1.76 ERA for his career.
Hey, Joe, I feel like, and I don't mean to cut you off the way I did, but I feel like I hear Judge's name and Glaber's name really get mentioned very often with these all-time Yankee greats. And we're talking, these guys played in an era long ago, which means that a lot of players have came and gone throughout that time. And it kind of makes you think for a second, like, wow, we got guys that are measuring up to those kind of players. And it makes you think, like, are the Yankees on the cusp of really being one of those really dominant teams once again? And it's a very optimistic, bright side to look at as a Yankee fan, really. But they say history repeats itself. And when I see things happening and repeatedly happening, it's like, I'm not going to ignore what I see, you know? This Yankee team has been making a lot of noise lately, and I feel like they're just right there. I know, Joe, you felt this way for the last few years as well. The team is just right there, and we got Cole. All these young guys are starting to really turn into their prime years, and I just think the timing might just be right, and maybe we just needed a little coronavirus season to get the dynasty kick started.
Do you know who has the lowest batting average against for a pitcher in postseason history? You don't, obviously. That's fine. I'll give it to you from 4 to 1. Number 4 is Sandy Koufax, a 180 batting average against. Gerrit Cole is third on that list with a 175. Somebody named George Earnshaw is second with a 174 batting average against. The all-time lowest in the history of baseball is tonight's starter, Masahiro Tanaka. With the lowest batting average against in postseason history.
We have 2 of the 4 guys.
Yes.
2 of the 4 all-time guys. And I'm telling you, things like this is where you really got to look at the numbers and really look what's going on and think, are the Yankees really in the brink of really breaking out and starting something big?
That stat, Joe, is
that's amazing.
It's mind-blowing. It really is to have, I mean, not only someone who's top 4 in Gerrit Cole, but the top all-time in batting average against in postseason history. It's not like he's just going out there and throwing 3 games, too. He has 10 career. This will be his 11th career postseason start. He started 10 games, and the dude's just lights out in the postseason. I think Tanaka just taps into some otherworldly zone that we don't know how he gets to it, but he gets there, and he's dominant in the playoffs.
And I just hate, though, because, as we know now, the Yankees must listen to our show. So Tanaka just heard Joe's point, so he's going to bring that to the bargaining table come off season. Like, hey, the Yankee professional Joe Aguirre said, hey, I'm number 1 in the all-time ERA in the postseason. What you got for me?
Oh, by the way, A-Rod is calling the
Reds game.
And it's not going well. And here's why. Apparently, there's nobody on base, and the catcher's putting down a sign, and A-Rod is literally reading the catcher's fingers and telling people what it is. Like, as if he just knows what the pitches are, and they're like, I guess the fans were like, yeah, one's a fastball, dumbass. What? What are you even talking about? Stop trying to be Tony Romo on the baseball. Not necessary.
Yeah, I was watching earlier, and the first time he did it, Matt Vasgersian was like, how did you know that? How did you see that coming? But then it's like getting pretty obvious how he's doing it.
Yeah. A-Rod's always a personality.
I was just going to say, right, only A-Rod could, call a game and do it well, and yet still people will find a reason to come at him. I'll never understand that.
Yeah.
By the way, meanwhile, Tampa Bay did beat the Blue Jays last night, and the Jays, interestingly, didn't start Ryu in the first game, so now he's up today. In that again, a weird thing, to have probably your best starter pitching to save elimination, as opposed to try to get that lead. But it does look like pretty good chance it'll be Yankees and Rays in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
now,
let's talk about this. How concerned are you guys?
No, Joe, I am not doing that because I don't oversee my opponents. We got to handle the Indians first.
No. We'll get there. My question is how concerned are you about the Yankees and the struggles they had with the Rays? And I say this simply because, to me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm telling you right now. I think if the Yankees face the Marlins tomorrow, the Yankees would beat the crap out of them, unlike what happened a few days ago. I think it's really easy to sort of put, look, and I'll even say this, when the Yankees got off to the 16-6 start, the team they really only struggled with was Tampa Bay. So there was losses in when they were playing great, and there were losses when they went into the slump. It happened a few times. I don't think it's going to matter for the Yankees. And I think the way that the starters are pitching right now, I think that the Yankees will be in a really good spot. And I don't even want to get into the series of itself, but I know a lot of people are really hung up on that thought. And I'm not even trying to look ahead, JJ, to the next series, but to see the way this team came out last night, and there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people that were doubting the Yankees. And again, it was, well, Shane Bieber's pitching, so I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the Yankees were starting Jordan Montgomery in that game, like it was Javier Vasquez or somebody awful.
Yeah.
So I just, again, to me, I'm just saying I'm not even worried about it now. Like I said, starting yesterday, it's zeros across the board. Mm-hmm. And the best part is, or maybe not the best part.
You gotta think about it. He's like, hold on.
Well, I just think the Yankees are going to be fine. I really don't think it matters. I don't think it matters because this team is so good, and I think because they're so healthy.
Okay, I'll entertain the Tampa Bay thought for a second. Like I said, I'm still focused on the Indians. I'm not gonna look too far, but the Tampa Bay is definitely a big possibility, and I'll keep it very simple: pressure bursts pipes, or creates diamonds. So regular season matchups between the Yankees and the Tampa Bay, they come and go. We play those all the times, but when it comes to the big stage, that's when we'll really find out who really has the team to keep moving forward. And I think it will be the Yankees, like you said. The talent is just a tier higher. It's just a tier higher, and that's not to discredit Tampa Bay, because I think you could put Tampa Bay in any other division and they compete with anybody. So I'll give them their credit. I think it'll be a really hard fought series, but the Yankees ultimately, I think, will win.
Yeah, I'm like JJ. I don't want to look ahead to the future, but because we got to handle our business with Cleveland. It's not over yet. Yeah. Hypothetically, though.
Hypothetically, there you go.
If the Yankees were to play the Rays in round 2, I think that the way we've looked so far, even though it's just one game, if that continues, I don't think there's many teams that can stop us. I think Tampa will, while I will say they'll have the best chance, I think if we get by Tampa Bay, we're a shoo into the World Series, but that's looking too far ahead. But I will say,
come back.
Right. I think that we can turn it on and we can give the Rays a run for their money for sure. And also, I was going to say, in sad news, in the top of the 9th inning, the Astros are up 3-1, so it looks like they're going to advance like they don't deserve to.
So this will be 18 straight losses for the Minnesota Twins in the postseason. That is, I mean,
ouch. That's what that is. Ouch.
That's bad, man. Yeah. That is so bad. 18 games in a row.
And let's not forget, and this I think I'm speaking for everybody. We were all rooting for Minnesota to beat Houston. So I really hate that they're gonna get beat.
One team, the country might be rooting for, the Marlins. They are up 5-1 on the Cubs in the 7th inning. So that's something to look out for if you like underdog stories.
Well, I'm telling you, this is going to be this really could end up being a really wild postseason. Well, Braves and Reds now in the top of the 13th, 0-0, which is all the reason in the world why I hate National League Baseball. Meanwhile, Oakland with a 5-0 lead over the Chicago White Sox.
Oakland, man, that's a team that I like a lot too. I think will make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
I mean, Ace fan, but down low, they got good talent.
I'll tell you right now, I think, and again, I think you can look at the Houston and Minnesota series. I think you look to the Oakland series with the White Sox. That postseason experience, JJ, when you've been there a year before, a couple of years in a row,
absolutely.
That team, that Cinderella upstart that makes you like, yay for them. They're overwhelmed in no time by the weight of this situation. If you've I think back to it, we've talked about this a whole bunch, JJ. Lucas, we've had this conversation. When you go back to Luis Severino's first start against the Minnesota Twins in the wild card game a couple of years ago, and I had predicted that was not going to go well. I thought the Yankees should have started CC in that one, and my whole argument was, well, gosh, this kid's never pitched in a playoff game at any level, not even in Little League.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of pressure.
Right, JJ, we talked about this like ad nauseum. The idea that this guy was gonna be at Yankee Stadium in the postseason for the first time and be the AC it started to become, that's asking a lot. And I think if you look around, I think Shane Bieber's another great example. Makes his postseason debut last night, having become the 13th pitcher of all time to throw win the pitching Triple Crown. And he did look like Justin Bieber last night. I mean, he got rocked.
Yeah, he did. The postseason really makes players. That's where regular players could become superstars right before your eyes, and that's really true. And and that's what makes me confident about having Gerrit Cole in a potential Game 1 of a World Series. We acquired this guy, but this isn't a guy that hasn't gone places. He was part of that Houston Astros team, which they were doing their dirt, but they were still an elite team nonetheless. We know that they're built well. As you see, they're in the playoffs. They're about to advance. But he's had experience next to guys like Verlander and was able to pitch in that stage. So I'm not worried about a guy of his caliber making his first appearance in a World Series stage. I know a lot of the younger guys will get those jitters, but it's nice to know that the guy, the highest paid guy on our team, been there, done that, took that L in the World Series, which I think will make him hungry. I think he wants to win more as a Yankee than he would have liked as a Houston Astro. So it's good that we have that energy moving forward as well.
I mention a lot of the time on this show that we have a really cool page, a cool Facebook page. And one of the things about this Facebook page is that JJ posts memes. JJ, for those of you who are listening, this is a meme of Fred from Scooby-Doo, and he's got a bad guy who's wrapped up, and his face appears to be that of Shane Bieber, but then Fred rips off the mask only to find out it's Clayton Kershaw. That was the laugh I woke up to this morning, so thank you for that. Make sure you check out the Facebook page. JJ he's always on point with those amazing memes. That was my favorite one this month.
Yeah, and I actually like Shane Bieber a lot. I like his talent. I was rooting against him obviously last night because I want us to beat him. But I think that this rough start that he had in this postseason will only make him a better pitcher. He looks like he's going to be one of the better pitchers in the league moving forward. So I expect him to come back next season as one of the elites as well again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees overall are just in good shape for the rest of this playoff run. Tonight should be very interesting. Two very good pitchers, very talented pitchers, two veterans going up against each other in the playoffs. Obviously, someone like Carrasco has made a deep playoff run before. Tanaka has also been part of two deep playoff runs. He hasn't been to the World Series like Carrasco, but he's been to two AL Championship Series. So this should be an entertaining game for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, really, really great game. I'm so excited for it. You got two postseason veterans in a playoff series, and to me, that's special. I think there's going to be a little bit more to it,
Yeah, a lot of fireworks going to be tonight, and I'm hoping by the end of the night we all go to bed happy, knowing that we're advancing. That's the goal. That's the goal. So
it's not a lot to ask for, is it?
Yeah. So I think we got to predict some Tanaka numbers since we did so good yesterday with Cole. I think we should predict some Tanaka numbers. So in my little crystal ball, I'm seeing 5 innings, 7 Ks, 1 walk, 1 earned run.
I'm going to have him go 6. I'm going to think he's probably going to give up 4 hits. He'll give up 2 runs in my book, and then no walks, and I'll have him striking out 8.
Okay. That's cute, guys. Listen, I already said he was going to go 7. He's going to have one of those Tanaka games where he strikes out 9. Okay. He's going to allow 2 base hits, both singles, and 0 runs in what I believe will be a 7-0 Yankee victory tonight.
Woo! See, in my mind, I got it like 5-1, 5-2 maybe. It'll be tight.
I think Cleveland presses big time tonight. I think they struggled so much with Cole. A lot of big swings. I think they're going to be a little more tentative tonight because they got made to look like fools last night.
Yeah.
And all the credit obviously goes to Cole on that. I mean, it'd be hard not to look stupid when he's throwing to you. But
Yeah, he makes it easy.
I think it's going to be tough for Cleveland. All the pressure is on Cleveland right now. They, I think really in their heart of hearts believed going in game one with Bieber and, Cole didn't have a great season. He did. That's the other thing that makes me laugh, right?
Yeah.
Gerrit Cole had a great season.
Yeah.
He had a couple rough starts to work out the home run ball, lost for the first time in like over a calendar year. For anybody to suggest like that Gerrit Cole wasn't the best pitcher in the game last night, even before the first pitch was thrown, I think are people that are from the school of what have you done for me lately? Because I'll take Gerrit Cole all day, every day, and twice on Sunday until Justin Bieber here has a couple more hits. I'm just not buying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I hate when people brought up Cole's struggles throughout the season. I always just hit them with the rebuttal. I'm like, well, he was 4-0 before the struggle. You know what I mean? So he was on fire. Of course he had to cool down at one point. But I want to go back to the Tanaka thing. I really expect a lot of really good changeups from Tanaka today. He has a really good one, and like you said, I think these Indians will be pressing to get big hits. And I think that I think right now Tanaka's at the stage in his career where he's better from the neck up. I think especially with that experience, he has the mental edge over these Indians that are just starting to get their feet wet in the playoffs. And I think that's going to really take the Yankees a long way in this game today.
It's funny when he gets in the zone, he's almost, to me, and it's going to sound a little bit weird, but almost more dominant than even a Gerrit Cole does.
I agree.
Right? When he gets in that thing, you're like, oh my God, how do you even stop that?
When Tanaka's locked in, he's a scary pitcher, man. I'm telling it has to be something with like he's been doing forever because he just sets his mind to the plate and he has just tunnel vision right to the plate. And he's unconscious sometimes, and it's certainly scary.
Yeah, I felt bad for this particular thought that I'm about to say because I felt this before, but I've watched Tanaka have some of these virtuosos, and I thought to myself, I didn't think he had that in him, and I felt so bad saying that, But I was like, but I really didn't think that he was that good in those big moments, and he made me definitely eat crow because of it. But not that I ever think Tanaka's not going to show out, but he just has had moments to amaze me, and when he goes into that zone, like you guys both mentioned, he's amazing to watch.
Boy, I'm all jazzed up. So we're a game starts at 7, so we are about an hour and 28 minutes away from game time. Once again, Masahiro Tanaka and Carlos Carrasco will be locking up. Yanks scored 12 runs last night on 15 base hits. The last time the Yankees scored double digits, they did follow it up with a double-digit win again. So there is some precedent behind that where the Yankees recently had one of those games. I found it staggering. After the Yankees had that big win against the Blue Jays, the record of teams that score in the teens and what they do the next day is mind-blowing. How teams – after they have usually those big offensive outputs, the next day, nobody can hit.
Yeah, they're quiet.
And that's
to see the numbers, historically speaking, it was like, wow. Well, it just really is something to it.
Well, good thing for this Yankees team. If they could just hit half those runs, that should be plenty to win this game.
Yep, I 100% agree.
I think the magic number for the Yankees this game is 5. If they could put up 5 runs, they could win this game.
I 100% agree. I just don't think that Cleveland. I just don't think Cleveland has the firepower to really.
I love Lindor. He looked sad out there yesterday. It's just the lights are just a little too bright for him still.
Yeah, they only had that one guy, Naylor, who just came out of nowhere and played fantastic all around. But I don't think he's going to do that again. And I think Tanaka gets in that zone like we've been talking about.
Round 2, here we come. Make sure you check us out, clovercrestmedia.com/the Roll Call Podcast. You can check out the great review that Lucas did write for this series. It is on our Medium page. Again, clovercrestmedia.com/ the Roll Call Podcast. I did mention our Facebook page. It is pretty dope. It's the Roll Call Podcast. We're also on Twitter at the Roll Call Show and on the Instagram as the Roll Call Podcast. I've mentioned this before, but Amber Sabathia likes it. I don't know what's holding you back. That's all I got to say. Yeah. That's going to do it for this very special edition of the Roll Call Podcast. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 in a row. Hopefully celebrating the Yankees moving into the second round.
Oh, yeah.
For JJ Vargas and Lucas Baldock, I am Joe McGuire. We will catch you tomorrow right here on the Roll Call Podcast.
Can I get a roll call? Let's get it on. Hit the field, let's play ball. Go home, we stand tall. Oh yeah, we back. Oh yeah, we back. 2020 division, Yanks back on the train track. Had to let the chances go, but we welcome in Gerrit Cole. Judge back with the guy, we're bringing Giancarlo up on these corners. Look at the information they gonna K back awesome. Boy in the shell, they on the corners with your wrestler man. You seeing chest don't play too. Severino in rotation, Paxton throwing K's too. Fully loaded. We got the airleys wide open. One game at a time, we stay focused. Bronx Bombers on a mission. World Series chasing, taking the division. No time for wasting. Again, first placing.